Alright, so one of the first things I would suggest doing, besides playing with all the new toys that come in, balance toys, grab yourself a little ball. We've got 3 different sizes here. It doesn't really matter, but sit on it, put your feet out in front of you like this, and then roll yourself, and you're gonna stretch the abs, and this will also sort of space out your organs a little bit and decompress the spine. Because it's like a stretch that you can't ever stretch out. You got to be careful about putting your arms back at first and just letting them drop. Because the shoulders in the back, the upper back, aren't meant to really do that when they're not warmed up. So I just do this and kind of, this gives you a stretch that you never really get to achieve. All right, so I do that for about 5 minutes, and then it helps me breathe. It helps me stand up and go to the next thing without that old man getting off the bench. So that is suggestion number 1 for everyday workout, or every 3 days, or whatever you're going to do. All right, so one of my big philosophies in working out is the legs are super important to make the rest of the body work correctly, because if your blood kind of pools up and doesn't really get pumped through your legs, you can have some problems in your upper body. That's where all your organs are. And your brain is up at the top, so you got to keep oxygen, going up there. Well, if everything's going down to the bottom, what's the use? So I always start with legs, and I like to go in first. I'm not going to use terminology on this because that's just a waste of time. But if you go to a gym, you will find this machine, which is technically a seated leg curl. So you think about like a curl for your arms. This is a curl for your legs, and what that means is it just goes with the bend of the knee. So select yourself some weight. I don't have enough on there for right now, but you wanna make sure to look at this thing where you're at and where's your knees lining up with the part where this hinges, because that's pretty important. Anyway, you go slow. I like to count 1, 2, then 1, 2, up, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, up. And what that'll do, so once you really achieve this machine, because your legs will get a little sore. That's the truth about it. But you start out light and you progressively go up until you're not like, ugh, because that's for the people who are working out. You're just like, oh yeah, I can feel the burn. Yeah, the burn. But anyway, so in, and then get to our next machine. 3 sets, do it 10 times. So you do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but slow. And then you get off, walk around, take a sip at the water cooler, go hit on some chick or whatever, and then come back and be like, ooh, shake your legs and stuff like you're tough. And then you get back on there, do that 2 more times. So 3 sets of 10. All right, so our next machine is the leg extension. So you're extending the leg now. So you were working the back and part of the calves. Now you got this machine, which you probably can't see on here. Hold, damn it. Here, let's try it right here. I swear I'm going to get in here with my camera and do something real. But for right now, I'm just sort of trying to make this happen. Okay, so once again, see right here where it hinges? This is where the machine bends. You want your knee to line up with that in order for this machine to work correctly without putting undue stress on your joints. So 3 sets of 10, like that. Hold it. Always go with the 2-second count, because the longer that muscle is under stress, the more it's working out. Okay, so if you're up here going like this and trying to sling all this stuff around, you're not doing anything to the muscle itself. The bone attachment might work out, But all that explosion fast stuff is for people who are actually trying to build muscle. So there's exercise number 2. Do 3 sets of 10. And now we're going to go to start working the butt. I was going to start with technical terms, but that's in another video. The butt and the hips. Okay, this is kind of, it's called a leg press. Hold on. All right. I got to remember to do this in segments of videos. Anyway, the leg press, there's a few different versions of this. There's angled, like sitting up like this. This uses part of your body weight because this angle here actually will give you some part of your body that's resisting. If it was on a flat angle, you would have 0 body weight calculating into this weight. So that's what the advantage is here at this. So you want to get on here, and the seat, you want it adjusted to where it's like riding a bike. You don't want your knees to bend and, you know, do anything weird. So you get on here and you make it like you like it. You know, some people might be right now going, ugh, puking up their breakfast. Anyway, like always when you're starting out, you need to go with low weight. And I always start with 3 sets of 10. You want to go up, and you don't want to lock your knees, okay? Because if you lock your knees, you're doing damage to the stoppers. There's bone in there, and there's cartilage. And the more you squeeze that, the more you damage that cartilage. So don't always fully extend, you know, anything when you're working out. Go up to a nice strong stance, then slowly let yourself down, and make sure you don't click the weights, you know, just keep them up above. And that way it keeps your mind working at the same time as you're working out your muscles so that you can concentrate on what you're doing. Plus you don't annoy your neighbor over here trying to work their legs extension. So you just do that. And the more weight you put on, you'll want to hang onto the handles. But I try to just put my hands somewhere else while I'm not using a lot of weight. And that way, all your muscles are working, you know, doing something different. If you go like this, you are holding on to that, and you are pulling like that with part of that weight. This will isolate the legs better. Okay? All right, let's do this next. This is a weird experiment, but hey, I know how to do films. I'm just trying to do this on the cell phone because cell phones are so popular these days. All right, so this is the inverted leg press, and basically it just isolates a little bit more of the muscle, and you can hurt your back a little bit if you're in the wrong position, so make sure that all of you is touching the back. Don't be leaning up or doing anything weird, or you'll be stressing out some muscles, because this one completely isolates everything. So, hold on. So I like to get in here, make sure I'm all settled up, and then, okay, 2 things. You can do a calf exercise by going down nice deep on the pad, and then you up, and you come down, and you keep your knees not locked, right? But you let that weight come back and stretch your calves, okay? Because the more stretch you got, the more room you have to build muscle. So 3 sets of 10 right there. And this is generally the same weight that you're using to leg press, you can use for the calf raises. And it's more convenient to do calf raises on this machine because you're not having to balance something on your shoulders and potentially fall over or something like that. So then for this, see how you could end up with your butt facing, you know, up a little bit? That's putting a lot of weight on your back. So get sucked up into that chair. Then you want your legs semi up high, because this is the part that's hinging. If you're down here, you're going to be scrunching up. It's going to be like you're squatting, you know? And you want to isolate this part of the leg. So up, move the safety devices if you have some. Then come down, see right there, you want to make a 45, and then back up. Don't let this come down and squeeze on your chest because you'll run out of air and pass out. Then this thing will come down on you and it'll further keep you from breathing unless there's someone around to come and save you. So I usually start off with a 45 pound on each one. That's pretty lightweight because most people weigh over 100 pounds. So you're just doing your natural squat right there. But what this allows you to do is spread your legs a little bit, take another stance. You're working the outsides. Go to the inside, and you'll feel it running right down in the middle. Inverted leg press. And it's good for you because it gets the blood rushing into your head, and inversion, turning over and letting your head get used to being upside down is good for you. It gets the blood pumping through all your veins because there's sort of an emergency thing that happens when you get turned upside down. I think everybody's experienced it, but yeah, so make sure you keep your brain working because people can pass out. You see videos all the time where people overexert and they like that, and their brain, they just faint. And if you're in a gym, you may be carrying weights around, you may hurt yourself or others, so keep it cool. All right, so that's basically legs. Now we're gonna do arms. This is an overhead press. There's 2 grips on here, and it'll isolate muscles when you grip, which is inside and outside, and all these machines are generally designed to sort of isometrically work your whatever body part it is. So if there's 2 different kinds of handles like this 45, go do 1 set here, do 1 set here. Call that 1 set. And then do that 3 times. So now this, as always, you want to keep your back and everything pressed to the furniture part as much as you can because they design these with the correct posture in mind. Okay, so also when you grip out, you can grip to the inside or you can grip to the outside. Okay, and depending on what kind of exercise you're doing, you know, it gives a little more leverage, and maybe towards the end of the set, you can go ahead and leverage out a little bit more and not have to do such a hardcore movement. So that, all the way up, and all the way back down. All right, so what you want to do is I like to do my pushing first and then my pulling. So if I'm working a certain area, I'm going to push first, and that way you fill the muscle without straining any tendons. Okay, so you're pushing, that's purely using the muscle. Then when you pull, you're also strengthening your tendons. So this is why the key is to move slow on each movement, and it'll all work out. Working out! All right, so we were on the overhead press before. This one is a chest press, and it's equivalent to the butterflies. The thing about a butterfly machine is it's such a specific machine. It only does one thing. So a lot of gyms won't have that. A lot of them have gone to a cable pull, which I'll show you in a little while. Sorry about this light. Looks like there's a UFO. We're getting abducted here at the gym this morning. Anyway, you want to adjust everything. Okay. Now hold on.
We also offer a guaranteed pet odor removal service. This week, save $50
And
off
feel
any
free
order
to explore your machine. Anyway, you want to get these handles out just above the level. When you sit back in this furniture, you want it just in front of the level of your shoulders, because if you reached back too far, you can just right away rip these. So even if you go and modify this and you want to further stretch back, don't do it until the second or third set. Okay, just on the first set, make sure you're nice and away, in a comfortable position. And then with these, instead of gripping, because that engages the forearms and wears you out. I want you to push with your hands open, okay? Give me some jazz hands, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, all the way out, hold. There's 4 different positions when you're working out, and I'll teach you guys those in a different video. But anyway, right here at the beginning, and then you take your 2 seconds to go up, wait a second, come back down. And so every time, the slower you go, the more your muscles are going to fill with whatever supplements you're taking, or water, or, you know, general fluids for life. And this one has 2 grips, so you're going to do 3 sets on each grip. You can do them one at a time, or you can alternate. I find alternating helps you get through your workout a little bit better by saving some of your energy, because when you work different muscle groups in alternation, you're actually giving the other set of muscles a chance to recuperate from that workout, but you're still doing the same workout. So it's kind of a good benefit. All right, this is everybody's favorite, the arm curl. Now, once you get, there's a lot of muscles involved in this movement, and you'll see a lot of people go out on the dumbbells, and that's great, but you should start off on a machine where you can have controlled movements and lower and raise the weight, you know, how you feel that day. Otherwise, you could be doing more damage than good. So start off on a nice low weight, and also when you get up to this thing, make sure you're sitting on it properly. Always take a look in the mirror. Make sure your feet are in the proper place, because if one foot's up here, you've got a strain on one side of your back where you don't on the other. Now, you come down, and you don't do too wide of a stance, because you want your shoulders and your elbows and your hands to line up, because the movement is this. If you come to the inside, you'll be straining the outside of your elbow, and there's a tendon on either side that can break easily if you're not, you know, in the right spot. So lay your arms down like you're relaxed on a couch, and then grab this, and no matter where it is, you could be even in the bend a little bit, just go ahead with that. And then you want to keep this exercise at a 45-degree angle, and you want to bring it all the way up, because that's where the squeeze in the biceps, or this arm muscle, sorry, keeping the technical terms out, right here is where the squeeze comes from, and that'll widen that muscle, because in this muscle there are 2 muscle heads. I'll name those later, but one here, and then one that runs from the elbow up into the armpit, okay? So that's what your arm is made out of, and you want those aligned correctly when you're doing this, because this is a little more isolated technique. So you want to come up, and I like to bring it to me a little bit, bring it up, and then scoot my elbows down, okay? That way I don't put too much leverage on those tendons. So you go down, okay? You don't go all the way down. Go like this. Then you come up, squeeze, let her back down. Right there. Consciously make sure that you're not going past 45. Up here, squeeze. And that's the curl. But if you go slow and give it that squeeze every time, you'll give your muscles a chance to build up those fluids. Alright, so this is rear delt. And we had the pushing motion, okay, and that was working this muscle. Now we're going to do a pulling motion, okay, so always pushing first, then pulling later. This one, people tend to want to go nuts and, you know, think that because it's not that hard, we're always pulling something towards us. We're always hugging somebody. These muscles are developed, but you can develop them just slightly more, and this actually will get back here. It's going to work all this right here with the pulling motion, and then these biceps are going to get a little too. So look at how many grips there are on this one, okay? So riding the motorcycle grip is going to work up here in the top, and riding down here, I don't know, ape hangers or whatever, it's going to get this bicep and lower in the back. So always, I like to grip up forward, but down here will give you a little more leverage, you know, and this is how you vary your workout. As you get tired, move your hands down. So anyway, always the 2-second rule, okay? So you pull back as hard, you know, as far as you can without going too far, because that'll engage the scapula, the back, and then hold, and then back down. And I'll explain the terminology of how these movements work. Okay? And you always I'm keeping my head over here so I can film, but basically you want to keep your head aligned with the furniture. Make sure that you're, you know, because when you come up here and grip this, that's exactly where you need to be. If you're a little shorter, you may be gripping like this. So you want to, there's a chest piece, you want it closer. And never, ever be afraid to manipulate the equipment because it's here for you, okay? So always take your time. If there's instructions, if there's an instructor around, if you need some, you know, go ahead and ask people, because the gym is the best place to learn about this stuff. Or you could go on the internet and watch somebody's channel. So, okay. That was actually a little bit fast, but always remember the 2-second rule to keep your muscles filled with nutrients, all the things that you've eaten, all the energy. All right, this next one is called the lat pull, and there's 2 similar devices in this gym. One is for lats and one, those back muscles, they kind of run down right here. And then one is specifically isolated for this. This is the lat pull. Okay, now there's a trick to this. Okay, you set your weight, and this is going to be above where you can reach from when you're sitting down. So the proper technique is grab the bar, and then you slowly sit down without ripping your shoulders off. These grips are real twisty. By the way, if you have grips that are kind of they're twisty and they don't, you know, want to stay on, you Windex that and it'll stay on. Anyway, what you want to do is lean back, because in order to engage the lats, you're going to want to lean back. Because pulling straight down it's going to work the upper shoulders and the back. And there's a lot better exercises for that out there. So you pull back, and then you're pulling towards you and down. And that pulls the shoulder blades together. Because that's the main idea. And cable pulls, everything, do the same thing. But this is a classic move that will actually build a little bit of back muscle. And those are the ones that when you go pick up the 50 pounds of pig food, that's what you're using. All right, so lat pull. I'll go to the other similar one real quick. All right, so this is the one my wife calls the Kelly Ripa. And basically, there's going to be a variety of grips that you can use, because this one does a lot of things and you can isolate a lot of muscles. But I like the direct down and working of this below muscle that works, that I mentioned before, that comes from here and goes into the armpit. So, the Kelly Ripa. But you want to come here, center yourself real good, and when you pull down straight, and then you let your arms naturally articulate at the bottom. Okay? Slowly back up, back down, articulate at the bottom. Some people come here and they think it's about that. Right? But you come down, and you're just basically following through with the rest of your motion. And you don't want to lock your elbows too much, because you'll start to feel that when you lean on your elbows. Right down there, just like that. But that final movement is really the key to get these locking in. You know what I'm saying? It's right there is the key to that. So full extension, and always start light, 2 seconds at a time. All right, this is one of my favorites. It's like doing sit-ups, but for your back. And people avoid this thing for some reason. I don't know why. You can start to pull weights with this. Anyway, you get up here. You want to adjust it to where it's just below the bend, like that, so that you can have independent movement right there. Now also, I take my feet and I point them out like this, okay, so that I'm not putting my knees in direct any danger. Okay. Also, it gives you that butt cheek squeeze. It helps you squeeze those butt cheeks. Anyway, just like a sit up, slowly go down, and you can hang a little bit, you know. But generally, once you've taken all the pressure off your back, you're not doing anything. So just put blood to your head. And you slowly come up. Now, some people will like dive up like that. I like to curl up, like when you're stretching your back. Go ahead and curl up like that. And then squeeze those butt cheeks together and get the final part of that movement. And that's overextending your body. The slower you go, the better this one will feel. Always squeeze up, because that'll get those butt cheeks activated. Then one day you can grab some weight and pull it up. But I don't suggest that until you figure out how well you're working out. Because you can put too much weight on your back and not know it. And then you get home and all of a sudden you can't get out of the chair. Because you go, oh, my back, Lucas. Anyway, all right, so that's about it. In the next video, I'll be showing you free weights and some squats and stuff, and still trying not to use any terminology. There will be another video for that, but I don't think there's any real need if you're getting just a basic workout to have all that terminology. But if you are aware of what's going on, then it does help with your mind to isolate those muscles and make sure you're monitoring yourself for what muscles are being activated. You may be doing an exercise wrong and you just don't know it, but if you pay attention to your muscles, you'll be able to tell and make a correction. So that is the basic workout, okay? You can do that in 30 minutes, hour, you know, whatever, if you want to socialize with people, or you just want to get in the gym, get it done, and leave. What I do for weeks is I would do Monday and Tuesday, all that, and then on Wednesday, go ahead and do cardio, running, bike, you know, there's rowing, there's all kinds of stuff you can do for cardio. And then Thursday and Friday, go back to your workout. Eat peanut, if you don't want to do supplements, go ahead and eat peanut butter. Creatine is a really good one. Creatine monohydrate is something that you can order from the Amazon that will help you out. But I'll explain that in another video. I'm trying to keep this simple and quick. I got 28 minutes on this video, so let's see if sepia tone is a good medium. And I'm just taking this stuff home and watching it. This won't even be part of the channel someday, so, but this is just sort of to get the practice going. But anyway, one day I'll put some links. I don't know if they'll be here, but go to my videos on my channel, and basically I want you to look for all the links. And I'm going to have beginning workout, intermediate workout, and then when I start doing a cycle of muscle building, I'll be showing you the exact workout that I do there. But otherwise, there's me. Where am I at? There. You can see that I'm a little bit chunky. I've been sitting down a while, but I used to work out. Yo, I used to work out, dude. But, you know, sometimes life happens. And so I'm back. You may be in that situation. Go ahead and shave your head. Make sure you're shaved every day so you look good for the ladies. All right. Until tomorrow, we'll see you guys then.